February 11th, 2014, Athens-Clarke County and surrounding areas had a weather event involving snow and ice predicted for our area.
The National Weather Service had made us aware of predictions of snow, ice, and freezing rain that was going to be coming into our area. And they also had warned us that they used words like catastrophic and historic events. So we began preparing for wires down, power outages that would impact our community.
And so we pulled together, had a pre-planning meeting where we pulled response departments together and we talked about contingency plans, identified gaps that we may have, how we're going to handle stuff, and basically opened up a line of communication between the different departments that were going to be responding to the event to make sure that we had all the resources we needed and that we had a coordinated response to the winter storm that was coming in that was going to hit Athens.
To prepare for that storm, we stocked up on our sand pile. That's what we used to put on the roadways. We got our chainsaws ready in case we had trees and limbs down blocking the roadways. We got all of our equipment fueled up and ready to go, and also we went on 12-hour shifts around the clock.
Athens-Clarke County departments did plan and organize their response. Prior to the weather event, representatives from each department got together in our Emergency Operations Center and planned how we would respond to the event. We did that on different scales. If the event became a severe ice event, we were prepared to respond just as much as we were if it was a couple inches of snow on the ground.
So this type of weather event, what we prepare for is responding to trees down that could be blocking the roadway, or the tree could have fallen into someone's house, or the tree could have fallen on a power line, as well as we respond to power lines, just power lines down because of the weight of the ice on the power lines. So in that situation, the power lines are energized and we make the area safe, stand by for the power company for them to de-energize the lines.
During weather emergencies, the police department will respond and check road conditions. They'll respond to traffic accidents and blockages in the roadway. This is in addition to their normal duties of responding to complaints such as domestic disturbances, thefts that have occurred, burglar alarms, and other calls that they normally respond to during a normal day.
So in cold weather, a lot of times what we see are situations where people are not using space heaters appropriately. And we recommend like a 3-foot space around a space heater so they get something combustible too close to the space heater, and then we've got a fire. Also, sometimes if they haven't maintained their fireplace and their chimney, there can be issues with creosote buildup in the chimney. And then lastly, they use items that are not meant to be used indoors when the power goes off to stay warm, and it introduces carbon monoxide, which then we've got a carbon monoxide poisoning situation. Sometimes people will take an outdoor grill and actually bring a gas grill inside the home to try to stay warm. And they also sometimes will use a gas stove and just turn the gas way up, and that's a cooking device and not really a heating device, so it can introduce carbon monoxide.
The first day of the storm panned out basically how it had been forecasted. It wasn't that significant. We did have some sleet, some snow, not a lot of accumulation. So we got through the first day, we were pretty good. Had everybody on standby, we were ready to respond. However, the second day of the storm is when we had a lot of sleet, we had some freezing rain, we had snow, and the roads started to become impassable. And we started having issues with clearing roads. And then we started having some down trees, a couple of down power lines, but with our collaboration with Georgia Power, we actually got power restored to Athens citizens fairly quickly. So we didn't have widespread power outages like a lot of other places did. Like I said, all the other departments were on standby. As soon as one department would report something, then Public Works would go out and take care of it. It was very coordinated, very collaborative. We handled what we needed to handle.
911 Center is the coordination point and the receiving point for emergency services in Athens-Clarke County. Any calls of an emergency from a citizen come into the 911 Center, and then the 911 operators are the ones that actually dispatch police, fire, or contact medical services to get out to the citizen. During this latest winter storm event, the 911 Communications Center received calls about downed power lines, slippery surfaces on the roadway, and we dispatched police and fire units to these locations. We also coordinated with Athens-Clarke County's Public Works to get sand and salt trucks to that area.
We're contacted from the police department about icy spots on the road, so we send our sand spreader truck out and they spread sand on the roads to make it safe for the vehicles. And then also, when we have a lot of accumulation on the roads, we send out our motor graders. We have 2 motor graders, and we plow the roads to get the ice and snow off the roadway.
The roads were pretty bad. They were. I would say probably the second day into the event is when the roads started deteriorating. Our Public Works Department actually was working very hard applying sand to the roadways. The challenge was with the continual moisture coming down. Once they sanded it, more moisture came down, froze, so it just would negate the sand. So it was a continual process. We had a good bit of accumulation here too, so the roads were very difficult. The good news was most people stayed at home. The schools were out, University of Georgia was out, so we didn't have a lot of people moving around. If we'd had that, it would have changed the scenario. So, credit goes to the people in the community to stay home in this situation. It made the outcome a lot better.
There's approximately 132 different locations that we sanded with our 3 sanding trucks. We used 110 tons of sand during the storm event, and also we plowed 87 major roads during this event.
The police responded to some situations of, slick bridges, ice in the roadways, but on the day that the ice started to melt, we had reports of ice falling from some of the taller buildings downtown. Some of our downtown officers were actually downtown blocking sidewalks so that our citizens walking by would not be hit by falling ice and debris.
The employees in many departments within Athens-Clarke County were extremely dedicated and committed to assuring the safety of Athens-Clarke County citizens. I personally came in at 5 o'clock Tuesday morning, didn't leave till 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. So there was a lot of people who did the same thing. They slept in fire stations, they slept in their office, they used cots, air mattresses, and they were on duty for 48 plus hours at a time to make sure that we could respond to whatever the needs were of the citizens of Athens-Clarke County.
Our employees here at Streets and Drainage did a great job. They worked around the clock, never complained, did a great job, and were here when we needed them.
I think our police performed exceptionally well during this event. They were prepared, they were organized, and they were ready to respond. Speaking on behalf of the 911 Communication Center, all of our employees reported to work on time, and many of them stayed after hours and actually slept here at the police department headquarters building so that they were available for their shift the next day.
I think everybody did a really good job, from the government to the citizens. Again, there was good cooperation, partnership, teamwork, and the community stayed at home and listened to the information that was put out there. So I think everybody did a great job. We were fortunate that we didn't have the power outages that they predicted, but even if we had, with the response that we'd prepared and the way the community reacted, I think everybody did a great job.
I think during this weather event it proved that the Athens-Clarke County government works well together, is organized, and is ready to keep the citizens of Athens-Clarke County safe at any time.